He could take them right out into that deep water that he needs to be to show that stamina we know he's got.
Emily Upjohn goes forward. That'll be King of Steel, 9-2. Though weak on the exchanges late, trading at 8, which is 7-1. Good luck, Kevin Stott and Ammo Racing. The wait is over. Richard.
So King of Steel, who, reminder, did have trouble at the stalls at the Dante, is the last one in with the aid of a blindfold for the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Qipco Stakes. Star-studded cast. 6 horses, 120 rated or over, and they jump away. Point Lonsdale roused it along to go forward. Not doing it that easily as Bolshoi Ballet drops onto the inside running rail. Pile Driver presses forward as well. Luxembourg on the rails. Auguste Rodin, who was drawn out wide, is just trying to slot in. Westover, who settled a little better than 12 months ago, but is still deep as Point Lonsdale and Bolshoi Ballet dispute the lead. Pile Driver is the one who is keen, with Luxembourg on the running rail in 4th place. Hukum in blue and white with Westover posted wide and no cover, racing in about 5th or 6th place. Auguste Rodin tracks him with King of Steel at this stage. The 2 3-year-olds, a couple from the back with Emily Upjohn and Deauville Legend last of all. So they've just about completed the downhill run. Point Lonsdale and Bolshoi Ballet, with Luxembourg on the inside of Pile Driver disputing 3rd. Westover will be 3 wide round Swindley Bottom on the outside of Hukum, and King of Steel now just has gone past Auguste Rodin in the blue and orange colours. Emily Upjohn ridden quietly by Frankie Dettori, and last of all is Deauville Legend. So now they climb up past the 7. Point Lonsdale and Bolshoi Ballet can dictate the pace that they desire. Pile Driver in 2nd place, in 3rd place I should say, with on the inside Luxembourg, then Westover and Hukum. Behind these we have on the outside Auguste Rodin of King of Steel, Emily Upjohn nosing between the 2 3-year-olds, and Deauville Legend is still at the back of the pack, so they continue the climb uphill. Point Lonsdale applying a bit of pressure to Bolshoi Ballet as they pass the 5. Luxembourg and Pile Driver just ahead of Westover, Hukum and King of Steel. Auguste Rodin is being pushed along, 2 from the back as Emily Upjohn makes smooth progress as they stay off the rail. Bolshoi Ballet, Luxembourg trying to sneak through with Point Lonsdale and Aidan O'Brien, threesome at the head of affairs. Pile Driver, Westover, then King of Steel. Hukum behind these, Emily Upjohn. Auguste Rodin has faded right out of things. They make the turn for home. Luxembourg will have first strike at the King George. Bolshoi Ballet, Westover down the outside. King of Steel waits in the wings, and Pile Driver seeks to retain his crown. Luxembourg on the inside, up the centre, Westover, Hukum and King of Steel now begin their charges. Westover leads in the King George. Hukum with over a length to find, then King of Steel. Hukum coming at Westover. On the inside, King of Steel. 3 of them inside the final furlong. It's Hukum and Westover. The King George between the pair. Hukum and Westover are locked together. A titanic battle. Hukum edging ahead close home, and it's Hukum's King George. Westover second, King of Steel, Luxembourg, Pile Driver. Behind these, Bolshoi Ballet, Emily Upjohn, Auguste Rodin, eased down, has still got half a furlong to travel. Hukum came at Westover as King of Steel faded away and has provided Jim Crowley and Owen Burrows with a memorable success. Westover, for whom it all went wrong 12 months ago, it nearly all went right this time. Rob Hornby committed him, he fought hard, but he couldn't hold off Hukum, and the 2 of them pulled 4 lengths clear of King of Steel. Hukum, a quality racehorse, related to Baid, now he can have his day in the sun. The return from a significant injury sees him back on track, and a winner of the King George.
And after all that build-up, what a duel. Not the duel many would have expected. And here's the result.
For Hukum.
Hukum wins the King George. For Shadwell, Jim Crowley and Owen Burrows, who's won the 2 big races on the day. And this is a race that served up jewels. Grundy Bastino, the most famous, Jason. Nashwan Cacoethes, Enable against Crystal Ocean. This was another, wasn't it?
Well, what a strange race. We're going to have to dissect this, because from early on, the distress signals were out. Look at the 2 at the back of the pack. Deauville Legend with the jockey change. Auguste Rodin allowed to canter home, but it opened up beautifully. Westover, runs round. He's gone a little bit deep on the track, but no excuses. Hukum slipstreaming through with him, and on the inside to have probably the best run round, King of Steel, but just no stamina late in the day.
And this is where they locked horns, isn't it? They've just come within the 1 furlong marker. Westover on the inside, Hukum on the outside. Two older horses going head to head. Hukum, the 6-year-old, Westover, the 4-year-old on the inside, and the line's approaching, and just Hukum gets his head down. It's a brilliant story, the fact that he won the coronation last year. We weren't sure if we'd ever see him again. I think it was a fracture of a cannon bone. Owen Burrows has managed to nurse him back into health, back to full fitness. He came back, beat last year's Derby winner, and here he is on only the second start of this year, winning the King George. That is some performance, and he is a lovely horse.
Westover has run a huge race after last year's disappointment. Look at Rob Hornby, head to head with Jim Crowley, and it's the blue and white on the far side who won it. Arif Mohammed there, who led up the horse. John Lake rides this horse out every day, and Jason, that is some training performance.
Yeah, absolutely. For him, the way that he's gone through the grades, or the years, or the patience that it's taken. I was lucky enough to work for Charlie Whittingham years ago, and he always told me that the thoroughbred was at its best, at its peak, if you could get them up into their 5-year-old career. This lad is an exception. He's now put up a career best performance, I feel, at the age of 6.
He has. The previous 6-year-old winners were Swain and Enable, and they both won it the year before. This guy hadn't, because he wasn't here to run in it last year because he was injured. But at this age and at this patience that they've been able to deliver with him, it's been some performance. And Ollie's with the winning jockey.
I sure am. It promised to be a race for the ages. That was a finish for the ages. Jim, how tough was Hukum there?
Unbelievable. I mean, I've always believed in him. I've always thought, even last year, I said to him, this could be a King George on our course, you know. And he's out of his brother's shadow now. And a great training performance by Owen. He was off a year. In fairness to Shaker Hissa, she persisted with him, brought him back into training. It would have been very easy to retire him after winning a Group 1. Poor brother to Baid. She had faith in him, and it's great. That was something special.
It really was. It was a great spectacle to watch. Just talk us through the race. Did it go according to plan?
Yeah, it went smoothly with a nice pitch. Westover got first run on me a little bit, but it gave me something to aim at. But he was so tough. I mean, you know, I never felt like he was going to come off second best there.
That must be a great feeling. I suppose now it's all roads to the Arc to prove yourself doubly right.
Definitely. I mean, look, he is not a mud lover, this horse. The ground was good today, and it gets soft, it comes alight, you know.
Yeah. And just finally, I know that it's pretty obvious, but how special is it to be involved in these races and then to come out the right side of the argument?
I mean, that was, like I said, it was special. Last year, in October, when we were walking into the second place or fourth place spot with Baid, it's bittersweet.
Well done, Jim. That was a thriller.
Thank you.
Some of the favourites disappointed. Two horses coming back from injury, though, served up a thrilling duel. Westover, brave in second, but the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Qipco Stakes goes to Hukum.
Vamos, Giovanni. Vamos.
Jim Crowley, who came second in 2017 on Ulysses, wins the King George on his 5th ride. Owen Burrows wins it with his first runner. In a few minutes, he's had a 44-1 across the card group double. There he is with his back to us. Here's Hukum. One at 13-2 was much shorter than that during the week. Looked like he might even go off favourite. Didn't today with all that money for Auguste Rodin, who was tailed off in the end, though he has walked in. Hopefully he is okay. We'll get all the reaction for you. Westover also back from injury, second at 7-1. The 3-year-old King of Steel ran well in third at 9-2.
I think that you look at how patient they've had to be with this horse. We mentioned about Baid and the super run that Shaker Hissa had, and the worry about the ground not being soft enough for this lad, but he's proven himself to handle the ground perfectly.
I think a lot of that, like Jim said, it's not so much that he's a mud lover. I think the fact that having had that injury, they don't really want to risk him on ground that's on the firmer side of good. He's won today in good conditions, same at Sandown as well. I think it's a massive deal for the Shadwell operation because they slimmed down a huge amount 2 years ago. They had to sell a lot of horses. They obviously kept the better ones, and Hukum being one of those. So the operation is really enjoying the fruits of the horses that they kept. But it's so important. Shaker Hissa is absolutely loving being, at the head of the Shadwell operation at the moment, and to have these horses continuing the legacy in such an amazing way is great. And I'm sure she really would be wishing that her father was here to enjoy it too.
Oh, how we'd have loved this with Baid last year and now Hukum. And Scott always says the best horse races are duels, and this was a great. Look at them. Look at both jockeys. Two brave horses.
And we always talk about the pedigrees, Francesca, and and it's that great line. He said, "Oh, Elvis had a brother and he couldn't sing a tune, and whether one likes this and one likes that." Here we have a beautiful individual, See the Stars, out of Agareed. The full brother Baid was a rocket over a mile and still could be that superstar stallion that we're looking for.
I've just quoted Scott saying he loves great duels. How great a duel did we just see, Scott?
Well, that's as good as we've had, really. What's so lovely about this one was that one horse really played his card, which is a winning card, Westover. He really went committed, and he laid it down to the other horse to take him. And I wondered whether Hukum would be tough enough. But he was good enough and tough enough. And when you good and toughness together is the ultimate of the thoroughbred. Look at this. He goes for it. Now, Rob Hornby. And basically, the way he leaves all the others, that's what's so impressive. I mean, King of Steel run a hell of a race, but he's leaving him. And now it's a duel. And can he do it? And Westover will not give in, will he? He comes to take him, and then he's held back. You think Westover's going to do it again? He comes through. Look, Westover's going to win it here. And yet, you heard what Jim Crowley said. I never thought I would come out second best. I must say it was very, very close. But there, to actually be as determined as that, because Westover really gets the trip. It's a great, great race. We're lucky to be here.
Scott loves a duel. Hukum won this one. Let's get more reaction.
Well, here's Willie Carson talking to Shaker Hissa, Owen Burrows. Great scenes. Richard Hills. Let's have a word with Shaker Hissa. 1989, your great father Hamdan Al Maktoum won this race with the mighty Nashwan. Did you ever think you might be standing in this winner's enclosure with your own horse in these great colours?
To be fair, he was prepped for this last year before his injury. So it was now or never. We knew it was a big field. He's a genuine horse. He's done it twice now, in the Group 3 last time and this time. So we were speechless. We're still emotional about it.
Yeah. I saw some of your team. They were in floods of tears, and they've all got badges of your late father. Yes. They're wearing the badges. I mean, this means so much as a family.
It is. The last time we won it was with Telruda years ago, and we think very highly of her as well. So it's just good to be back, and with a homebred brother of Baid as well. So they're from the same family as Nashwan anyways, so we're thrilled.
Absolutely thrilled, and it's great that you've carried on the tradition of Shadwell and these colours, and we thank you from everyone here at ITV for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's go and speak to Owen Burrows. He's in the middle of the throng of the press. Dave Yates is here, Greg Wood as well, but I'm sure they won't mind if we just quickly butt in because we're going off air any moment. Owen, sorry, Yatesy, I know you won't mind. You're a good man. Owen, a great day in your career.
Probably the best, yeah. It would have to be the best. And yeah, I'll be honest, I'm pretty speechless, to be truthful. Just saying there, great team effort to get him back. My guys at home, obviously the Shadwell guys as well, who did a great job after his injury. He went back there, did a great job rehabbing him. And yeah, look, what a tough horse. And he had to be there, didn't he? The second, didn't lie down. Credit to it. It made us fight all the way. And I'm just lost for words to say about this horse because he's been a huge part of my career. He was my first Royal Ascot winner, obviously first Group 1 winner. He won in Dubai when we first went out after the sad passing of Sheikh Hamdan. So, and then to come back and do what he's done now is just amazing.
Owen, a great day. We'll let you hyperventilate for a little while, I suspect. What a terrific victory for Owen Burrows.
Yeah, just a brilliant day for Owen Burrows, his best in the sport, and the Princess Royal will now make the presentation to Shaker here. So I saw her having a word with Rafe Beckett, saying bad luck. Rafe was smiling. Rob Hornby spoke to Ollie and said he was absolutely gutted. Kevin Stott also spoke to Ollie and said he was delighted with King of Steel. He ran a huge race in third. But there are our winners. The colours carried to glory by Tagruda, and famously in 1989 by Nashwan. The blue and white winning again, this time with Hukum. And that's the aperitif, if you like, for next week. 5 live days from the Qatar Goodwood Festival, starting on Tuesday with the Al Shakab Goodwood Cup, which promises to be an absolute cracker this year. A later start time on Tuesday after the football, and then we'll have 4 races every day, and then more on Saturday for you to enjoy. There was such a build-up to today, and we're always looking in this sport to bring in new fans.